Welcome to Tree Dog Tuesday, only on the Fueled by Joy Working Dog Podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a good one for you today here on Tree Dog Tuesday. Two guests. Casey Maggard, of course, UKC World Champion SUPERHUNT contestant. He will be joining us first, and then we will be joined by Wade Graskewics. We are going to talk dog food. We're going to talk SUPERHUNT. All kinds of good stuff coming up. So stay tuned. We're going to start with Casey after a word from our sponsor. Someone is going to have to explain to me why you would spend your hard-earned money on a foreign dog food. Joy Dog Food is a family-owned, small business that uses American ingredients. Not only that, they are a tireless supporter of hound sports and working dog sports in general. So, you need a good dog food, you want an American dog food, you want somebody that supports our way of life and our lifestyle, don't be shipping all your money up north. Spend it on Joy Dog Food, high energy, super meal, high performance, adult performance, you name it. All those feeds are great and they will keep your hard working dog going night in, night out, day in, day out, depending on the sport you love. So, want more info on Joy Dog Food? All you got to do is go to joydogfood.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tree Dog Tuesday, and I'm here with a special guest. I'm here with UKC World Champion. How does that sound, Casey Maggard, being UKC World Champion?
That's pretty nice, man. I guess it's finally sunk in a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a while. You guys won that back there in the fall, you and Lacy, and of course we got the SUPERHUNT coming up. We got all that stuff, so I wanted to make sure and get you guys on here, but let's just start off by talking about Lacy. When did you guys first get your hands on her? What kind of dog is she? All that good stuff.
I guess we got her September of 2020, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was I guess she was 16 or 17 months old. She actually came from a guy that lives right there local. He's a pleasure hunter. He starts pups and gets them up and going, and usually sells them when they're kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
Got her then, and I kind of just coon hunted her for a while and started putting her in some hunts here and there, and she started paying her way. And the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah. When did you know you had something that was pretty nice?
Well, I guess when we first got her, that first 5 or 6 months, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was disgusted with her. I was afraid to tell Jack that might have made a big mistake, and I mean, she just, I guess, where she was used to people that had her, she didn't want nothing to do with me. She didn't want to get treed. You go cut her loose, she'd just roam all night. Last thing on her mind was treeing a coon, and I ended up going to Northern Ohio one weekend, and I don't know what it was, but she flipped the switch, and after that, I think she treated 7 singles up there one night. She looked real good, and I said, well, if we can keep this up, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
And then I guess that next year, I just kind of coon hunted her there. And we went to Michigan Madness, hunted 3 nights, ended up winning a couple casts up there, and started going to some more hunts, and she's just finding ways to win, and it's kind of how she's always been.
Yeah. What kind of style of dog would you call Lacy? I mean, because I've only got to hunt with her once. I drew her once with Eric. I think I've hunted with her twice. I think Eric had her both times. And one night she did like he was saying, she roamed around quite a bit. She didn't make a lot of trees. And the second night, I think she made 5 trees in that cast, So I never really could get a good feel. And you know how it is. You can't really tell about a dog after a cast or two until you've spent the time like you have with her. But what kind of dog would you call her as far as her hunting style?
Well, she's really not, a this or that kind of dog. I mean, if you turn her loose where there's coon that, she can tree 4 or 5 singles like if she has to, or you put her down here where I live at, when she has to go 2 miles to get treed, she can go hunting. usually she'll get her mouth open pretty good when she smells a coon. She's going to bark. And I like to say most of the time, I feel confident when she gets treed, she's got a coon. That's the main thing about her.
What about your hunting down there? What is it like?
Right where I live, it's terrible. You can't hunt in the summer. We got plenty of snakes, and we can drive 45 minutes to hunt a little better, or 2 hours to get in good hunting, and that's actually we're headed hunting right now. It's a couple hours to get out of the hills. We've got snow on the ground, so we're going where there's a better coon population.
Yeah.
Hopefully tree a couple.
When you're coming into that UKC World Hunt, was you feeling pretty good about it? I mean, because you get your wins, you get through zones and all that stuff. But I mean, when you're coming into zones, did you really think that you had a really good chance of winning that whole thing?
No, no. To be honest with you, that whole summer, man, she looked terrible. I was telling Jack, I said, man, I don't know what's wrong with her. He's saying, well, she's washed up and this, that, and the other, and I switched dog food and took her to the vet, all this, that, and the other, and I don't know, she just kind of started coming around really at the right time. She just hadn't been herself all summer, and she come around, and it just worked out. She kept getting better and better, and we got down to the end, and she was operating. I knew they would have their hands full if she just kept doing what she was.
What do you think it was about that summer? Because I know some dogs get some age, some dogs don't look good in the summer, but she's probably, as much as that little dog's won, she's probably done pretty well in the summer over the years. And so it wasn't just the summer, it was just something, she was just in a mood or something, huh?
I guess it just being herself. I don't know. That's one thing, like Eric Bowen said in the past, she'd won the Fall Super Stakes twice, and that World Hunt, she's won a pile of money right there in the fall. I don't know if it's just coons start feeding in oaks and stuff like that, or if it's a weather change or what. But she's done a little more winning that time of year. I mean, she's consistent yearly, but it seemed like she's got a little extra in her.
Yeah.
In the fall and winter.
Tell us about how she looked at zones, to get through. Did you get a double cast win, or did you get a one big score?
No, I just got one score. I guess the first night we had a pretty good score. I think she treed 3 or 4 singles that cast, and we scored on a bunch of coons, 10 or 12, I think.
Yeah.
And the next night it was tough. She treed a coon, but just wasn't enough to win the cast.
Yeah. Where'd you guys go to zones at?
Flora.
Oh, it wasn't Flora, so you're right there where.
Yep.
She's done quite a bit of winning, right around in that area.
Yep.
So you get through zones on one big score. You go into the top 100. Do you remember who you drew and all that good stuff coming into that?
Oh, no. Honestly, I don't now. But I'll tell you this. Every cast up there from the top 100 on, it come down to it that the last minute or two, well, she had to get treed, and she had to have a coon to win every one of those casts.
Yeah.
And she did. I think she made 10 trees in 3 casts, and she had 9 coons in a den.
Yeah. Well, that's
kind of that's what done it. Just she had her coons.
90%'s pretty good number for a dog, Casey.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you get into the top 100. You get through the first round. Every time I interview one of these if I ever get lucky enough to win a world championship, I'm gonna come into it. I'm gonna know what the other handlers were wearing. I think.
Yeah.
And every time I interview one of you guys, I can't remember who I drew. I think my dog looked pretty good. So you remember some of the guys you drew in those early rounds.
Yeah, well, that first round, I remember drawing a good buddy, Cody Carter. And it was just a dang good cast. It was a shootout. Actually, we go to score one of his trees. He said he seen the coon walking in. We start shine time, look up, and it's nowhere to be seen. Don't know if it jumped out while he was waiting on us to get to him, if it went in a den or what. But
all right,
Lacy was sitting treed on through there. We went to her, and she had a coon, and there just wasn't enough time for him to get cut back loose.
Yeah. What was Cody hunting?
I think a female named Out. I think
Yep.
she's out of Little Money.
I got you.
Yep. She looked really good.
So you get in past that, you get into towards the semifinals. Do you remember how those casts went?
Yeah, that was the only round that night, and then the next night it was 2 rounds.
Right.
And I think that early round, I was trying to think. I can't remember those guys' name.
Say sometimes
Then,
I do a bunch of research for these, and I see who everybody drew and stuff, but I didn't do it today. So I was counting on you on this one.
Well, that late round, I drew Levi Stevenson and Tyler Roten, and that was just a toss-up cast. I mean, heck, three good dogs and 3 good dog men, you know, and that's kind of how it was. It come right down to the end. Lacy got treed a few minutes ago. If she had a coon, we was a winner. If she didn't, circle or slick, we were beat.
How was you feeling walking into that tree?
She done a good job on us. Put it on her, you know. I mean, if we're going to lose, I said it's going to be her fault, not mine this time.
Yeah.
I get in there, she's got a coon. Thank God.
Yeah. So you get into the finals of the UKC World Hunt. Was there any nerves coming into that final cast?
Oh yeah, that's any hunt I go to, people ask, "Are you nervous?" And heck, it don't matter if it's a $35 open event or a finals of the World Hunt. I get tore up,
Really?
especially that first few minutes. Yeah.
Well,
I've always said, I lose that, I think I'll quit.
Well, I know a few guys like that, and I've always been envious of them because we all get it a little bit, but right now it's got to be a pretty high stakes cast before I feel any nerves or before somebody else feels any nerves, and that is a feeling that I miss. So I'm kind of envious that you still get them butterflies coming into a cast. And so if you're getting them coming into a $35 hunt, they had to be pretty bad going into the finals of the World Championship.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was just, you get through that first minute and things start happening, and things kind of settle down. Then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going your way, I guess.
Yeah. Tell me about the final cast.
Well, I guess they kind of saved that spot all week. It was a beautiful place, big safe hunting, and we cut loose. And we kind of had to wait there. I guess they was kind of getting everything lined out, as far as the cameras and all that. And I was trying to keep her in the box as long as I could before we cut loose. And I didn't want to get her fired up and all the other dogs fired up and all that. So, anyway, we get cut loose, and heck, she strikes 20 or 30 seconds in, and I look at my Garmin. We actually cut down a road, which is kind of the last thing you really want to do. And she hopped in the woods, and I struck her. She works a little track 300 or 400 yards. I think Joe struck kind of right behind her. And I guess maybe 3 minutes in, bam, she's treed 300 or 400 yards down on the creek. And we ease in there to her. She's got a coon. Joe split up on the hill. I think that female's with him. We go in there. We're not able to find it. I done cut back loose, and it opens the strike back up. And Lacy, she's like 700 or 800 on through the country, and she gets open. I get her struck back in for 100.
Yeah.
And we had some downtime there for a little bit, and Joe, he goes the opposite way, and Braxton gets him treed. Heck, he's like 8/10 or something through there. We go to him. He's got a coon. I think Randy's female, she gets treed on her way. We come back. I think she was on a den. And I believe we made another tree. I think Randy's female made another tree. We got in there to her, and the time was kind of getting wound down. I think there was like 28 minutes left, and I can kind of tell Braxton squirming around. I know he's treed, but you can't hear him, and Lacy's got to get treed. At this point, if he's treed, I've got to get treed. And she comes treed while we're shining that tree, and Braxton's asking the judge to hear him, and she just comes treed, and I just up and tree her before he gets treed. And I don't know if that made the difference in it or not, but he had a coon and she did too.
Yeah, well, it very well could have. You know, Braxton makes that tree with 28 minutes left. They hustle to Joe, get him turned loose again. You know, he's got a chance to tree his third, you know, where you're still sitting on your second. You know, in
Exactly.
theory.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that what you were thinking whenever?
That's exactly what I was thinking. You know, if I can get tree before him, you know, let's go score her, and if she's got a coon, then we're going to kill the time walking to him.
Right. Did you? I can't recall. I remember I watched the play-by-play and I watched some of the video. Did you take your option going to Joe, or did you turn Lacy back loose?
No, once we got in there to her and we found that coon, there was there wasn't even a minute left, I guess.
I see. And so once you find that coon, you know there's no way that you can't be anything other than the UKC world champion, right?
Yeah, that was it. It was all or nothing.
Was it? Did it take a little while to find the coon? Did you guys find it right away?
No, man, that's what people ask. You know, we walk in there and I tie her up. She's treed on the edge of a bean field, just up a big, beautiful oak tree. Every coon she treed that week had been up an oak.
Yeah.
I step out in that bean field and look up, and it's just like it was meant to be. Two eyeballs just glowing.
Were you the one that seen it?
Yeah.
How loud did you yell, "There he is"?
Man, I was tore up. I ain't gonna lie, I was.
I can just imagine. What is that feeling like? I mean, I'm sure it's pretty hard to describe.
Oh yeah, they really can't. You know, they ain't nothing like it, man. A lot of people that's not familiar with the sport, you know, they don't understand the time and effort you put into these dogs, and you spend more time with a dog than you do your family, and it's just hard to explain, you know, when it pays off like that.
Yeah, I can just imagine, and so far that's all I've been able to do is imagine. So you are one of the good ones. You know, everybody that I talk to always enjoys drawing you and all that stuff, Casey. So I was happy to see you guys get that win. Of course, I was rooting for Joe, not because I dislike anybody else in the cast, but Braxton and Vic and them, and they're good friends of mine, and that dog is a good dog. I've always liked that dog. But go ahead.
Braxton, they're good people.
Yeah.
Braxton, he's a good kid, man. He's got if he sticks to this, he's got a bright future.
Yes.
He's steps ahead of a lot of people that's done it a long time. You can tell he definitely knows what's going on.
He's a good dog man and a good handler for his age, for sure. Well, I mean, even for any age, you know, he's right there with the best of anybody, you know, at just 16, 17 years old.
I'm not sure if he's got his driver's license yet, but if he does, out y'all's way, y'all better watch out.
I don't like drawing him, trust me. He ain't too far. He's close enough to me that we draw every now and then. I don't like it.
Oh, I'd say he puts his time in, that's for sure. He said he hunts every night.
He does. He's a hard hunting kid, but you know, everybody, when you get to that level, you and Randy and Braxton, and of course everybody, you guys worked so hard for that, like you mentioned, and then all of a sudden it comes to fruition, and next thing you know, there's light bulbs flashing, and you're all over the interwebs, and you're doing podcasts and stuff. What's it been like since you won the World Hunt? You said it's just now starting to sink in, and it's been quite a while.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We just kind of get back to hunting, you know. If you got to give credit where it's due, and I want to give it all to the dog. She's been a blessing to us.
Yeah.
She's paid her way, you know, and she's any cast you put her in, no matter Louisiana, Michigan, wherever, she can find a way to win. That's what I love about her.
Well, she's going to get another chance to get stacked up against the best dogs of 2024 here in about a month. We got the Super Hunt coming. You and Dual Murphy and Doug Havner, and we're still waiting on our fourth through Pro Sport. They still got to have that year-end hunt to see what dog they're bringing in. But what do you think of the Super Hunt? Are you excited about it? You guys, you're going to have them nerves coming in with all the cameras and the lights and the publicity coming into that too, I assume?
Oh yeah, I can't wait for it, you know, especially being in Texas. I've never been to Texas. I'm excited to see what it's about.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good time. And how do you think Lacy's going to fare down there?
I don't know. We'll see. You know, she so far seemed like she's done good everywhere else. So hopefully Coons smell the same out there as they do here.
Yeah, I assume they do, because most of the dogs that are pretty good in Texas are pretty good everywhere else, and vice versa. So I'm sure Lacy will be all right. Do you got any expectations as far as the dogs that you're drawing? Have you hunted with Crash and Hooker by any chance?
I don't know if I've hunted with Hooker or not, but I've hunted with Crash several times. He's a good one. You know, when you draw him, you got your hands full, and I'm sure Hooker's the same way. And whatever the fourth dog is, you know, they've earned their way there too. Yeah. So
it's going to be a tight race. You know, you got Strickland in there and Lane Leverett, Triggers in the hunt. So I mean, it's going to be a pretty. I can't remember who the fourth dog is, but it's going to be. I mean, like you said, you get into the top 4 pro sport cast wins and all that stuff, and then you hunt it off and you win that, you probably deserve to be there too. And all them dogs are good dogs too. But
absolutely, yep, 100%.
Well, Casey, I appreciate you being on. I know you're getting ready to go hunting. We look forward to having you guys down in Texas. You know, what we think of this hunt is not that you guys aren't all world champions. You know, you are. It's 3 world champions in the Pro Sport Dog of the Year. But this gives us a chance. There's always been that, you know, who's the best dog of that year, who's the best dog of this year. So we kind of like to call this the Super Bowl of coon hunting. And,
right.
You know, it's going to be the top 4 organizations hunting against each other. And we look forward to having you down there. And I'm sure, I've no doubt, hunting with Lacy a few times to know that she's going to look just fine down in that country.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I appreciate what you do. You know, what Wade's done. You guys reaching out and inviting us down. We're excited for it.
All right, Casey. Well, I appreciate you joining us on the podcast. Good luck tonight out there in the woods and the rest of the competition year, and we look forward to having you down in Texas, buddy.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Casey.
Thanks.
So, all right, big thanks to Casey Maggard once again for joining us. The Super Hunt, I always love this time of year. Of course, you're going to hear from me and Wade here in a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about the Super Hunt as well. But, man, the true world champion well, they're all world champions. I don't want to call it that. I don't want to say the true world champion, because they are all true world champions. But the best of the best, Super Bowl of coon hunting. We're going to put the best dogs of 24 together all again one more time at the Joy Super Hunt. So looking forward to that. Thanks to Casey. Congratulations to him and little Lacy and everybody that's been behind that dog with Jack and Eric and everybody. Very, very cool. Congratulations to him, and thanks again for spending the time to be on the podcast with us. So now, without further ado, let's hear from Mr. Wade on the subject and many others right here on the Fueled by Joy Working Dog podcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am joined by Mr. Wade Graskewics of Joy Dog Food, and we need to do this. We talked about this earlier in the year, Wade. We need to make sure and give a little short what's going on with Joy update every now and then, and I think this week could be a perfect week to do it. We're starting a new year. We got a lot of stuff coming up. There's some things going on at Joy Dog Food I know you want to talk about and everybody wants to hear, and plus we got the Super Hunt coming up. So let's just start with Joy Dog Food. What's going on new down in Pinckneyville, Illinois?
Well, a lot. We got a lot of good things coming. I've told you most of them, but probably not all of them. I periodically, a couple times a year, just go through all the SKUs, and I go back and look at tests and protein fat ratios, et cetera, and I'm always looking to improve the product just a little bit, and of course, kcals per cup is something that I watch, digestibility and kcals per cup. So without changing the order of the ingredient panel, we were able to just improve a little bit, and our kcals are going to jump. So just got back most of the results from all that. The super meal, for example, is listed at 510 on the packaging, but when we print new packaging, and I've got thousands and thousands of bags already printed off, but the super meal will jump to 535 from 510.
Yeah,
it's going to increase. Um, the high energy is going to jump from 505 to 538. So
Yeah.
noticeable improvement. Puppy food 515 to 531. The adult 2618 was, I think, 485. It's going to jump to 498. So right at 500. Even the maintenance, which was I was surprised. I don't know what it was prior to, so I'm not going
I
to guess.
think it's 380. Is it three? Was it 385?
Well, it's
Something
going
like that.
475.
Yeah.
Take house per cup
You
on the
told me
main
that
one.
earlier on the phone. That just blew
Yeah.
my mind.
Yes. So the high performance, the beef 2618 will be 493. So yeah, that's it's going the right direction.
Yeah.
The price will not increase, of course. We're not doing that. But the
Let's
cake
talk
house,
about that for a quick second, Wade,
Sure.
because the way Joy Dog Food does business through small distributors, local dealers, things like that, we get some flack over the price, in certain areas. But what people don't understand is that dog food comes out of the plant at the same price all the time. When's the last price increase that Joy Dog Food had?
I'm going to say this tongue in cheek because I don't want somebody to prove me wrong, but I'm thinking it's close to 2 years.
Yes,
Had a price
that's what I
increase.
thought too. I thought
Yeah.
first quarter of 23,
Yes.
I think was the last time we had a price increase at the plant. Now
Yes.
freight goes up.
Freight.
Little things like that go up. Of course, most of the feed's made in Minnesota, and so freight to the East Coast and West Coast is going to be a lot more expensive than to say Northern Iowa or where I'm at here in North Missouri.
Right.
And so that makes a difference with fuel prices and trucking prices and things like that. But the actual dog food has not gone up for quite some time.
Right. No, it has not. And just like this past weekend before last, I was at the Grand American. Of course, you have, Josh, just a ton of people from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia there. And they're saying, well, I'm paying X for high energy. And then you got somebody from Indiana there, and well, I'm paying this, which $3 cheaper. Well, why? Well, freight. I mean, when you ship in North and South Carolina or Georgia from Minnesota, there's no magical way to get it there, and that freight is the constantly moving number that you just never know where it's going to be. And well, just like around Christmas, New Year's, there's people was wanting feed and their customer paying $2,200-$2,300, and I just refused to ship it. It was $3,600 to $3,800. I'm not doing that to them.
Yeah.
It goes right on the, they'll raise the price on the product, which, understandably so, but it affects the end user. So, and while we're talking about this a little bit, we there's several companies out there, and I know we this is the United States of America, people. I'm proud of it. I hope everybody else is too. But there's people that they go around. We don't go around distribution, Josh. We go through, and we got some fabulous distributors out there. Elite Nutrition, your West Plains Vets, Central Farm Supply, Carolina Coon Hunters. Stevens Feed Mill. Your New Bedford Feed Mills, Associated Foods. I mean, we've got some great distributors out there, and I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. FRM, Tucker Mill. We go through distribution. We don't go around it. There's a lot of companies out there currently that's going around it direct to the end user. We've never done that. So we go through distribution, which there's an extra cost there. I will say that because they have to make their money too. So that's part of the reason why some people say, well, Joy is this and this company is this. Well, that's part of the reason.
Yeah. No, and when we're talking about affordable dog food, there are super expensive dog foods, and then there are lower end dog foods.
Right.
And then there are cost effective quality dog foods, which I would call joy. I mean, you're looking at high energy, roughly less than $1.10 a pound, when you're feeding your dog. And you already talked about the K cows per cup, 538 K cows per cup in a bag of 50-pound bag of Joy 2420, which is our most popular SKU.
Right.
But that's pretty cost effective. I know I'm still paying for my dog food. People think that Josh Michaelis gets all this free dog food, but I can't go tell everybody and quit griping about the price of dog food when I ain't paying for it.
Right.
And so I go get my dog food right up here up the road from Mike Noe, and I'm feeding 6 dogs. I'm feeding, most of them 2420. It's not that expensive. It's not, and I'm not feeding 6, Lhasa Apsos either. These are all anywhere from 55 to 70-pound dogs. They eat a lot, and it's really not all that bad. It's a pretty cost-effective dog food, in my opinion.
Yes. Well, and if it's a race to 1,000 K cows, well, I'll just use 1,000 K cows per cup. If it's a race, okay, well, you're looking at less than 2 cups, excuse me, of this product to get there. And some of our competitors out there, some of them are below 400 or mid 400s. Okay, well, you're looking at 2 cups plus, and when you add that up every single day, it starts getting in your pocketbook. So even though the initial cost for a 50-pound bag of dog food compared to Joy is lower, when you look at the K cows per cup and what you have to feed to sustain your pet or your hunting dog, there's a difference. And I get it. I understand it. There was people there. I'll use the Grand American example again. They're like, I'm feeding too much. Like, how many cups you feeding of this? A competitor. I'm feeding 5 or 6 cups. Like, oh Lord, that's a lot of dog food.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that I hear in person over the phone is, I switched to Joy, and man, they're gaining so much weight, and they're having 2 or 3 stools a day. You're feeding too much. What are you feeding? Well, I've got a 7-Eleven Big Gulp cup that I use. Wrong. Can't do that. If you're going to do
32-ounce soft drink cup is a lot of dog food when you're feeding 530 K cows a cup.
Yes. Yeah, you're feeding way too much. So another thing, I'll switch gears here. Another thing, we're in the process of looking at 2 new SKUs. Still in the beginning stages. I've looked at formulations, some ingredient panels. I've looked at the K cows per cup. I've looked at the price. Still tinkering with it, but we're definitely going to come out with a couple new SKUs this year. I'm hopefully have product in some bags by April, and that's pushing it. But that's what I'm trying to do here. We're also we get so many people that want to feed Joy High Energy, but they don't want to buy a 50-pound bag. So we're going to start putting that in a 20-pound bag as well. That's easier for our customers to ship through the mail, UPS. So that's some of the new things we've got coming out.
I'm excited over that for just traveling with dogs.
Yes.
I keep a couple 20-pound bags in the kennels. Just like tomorrow, I'm leaving with Raven and Shame, and I'm headed down to Texas for 4 or 5 days. I can just throw one of them 20-pound bags in the truck.
You're good.
Off I go. I don't have to put it in a carrier. I don't have to do all kinds of stuff, to get my dogs fed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the 20-pound bags as well.
One other change, and I'm not going to mention names, but we have at the end stages. We're at the end stages of adding a couple new 2 or 3 different people on podcast. I don't want to name drop until it's actual reality, but we're really close. And we've got the Bicknell bunch. they threw a podcast in, and I know we got some other people wanting to jump in there and do some stuff. So we're looking on the cane stream side. We're looking at squirrel dogs. We've got a really good customer and that's volunteered to do some beagle trials. So, for us on the cane stream side. So that's going to make your work even harder.
I'm ready. I wish we
Longer.
could hire 10 people. But really,
So,
the more content we get and the more, because the whole point of Cane Stream was to diversify amongst all the working dog groups. And yeah, we started with coonhounds because that's what we know. That was the easiest for us to get access. And now here we are. We filmed the fantastic USDC squirrel hunt. We've got some new stuff coming up for the Elite Handler series. We got maybe some beagle hunts being filmed. So we're right on our way to making it to where not only is Joy Dog Food good for every working dog and every dog everywhere, but so is Cane Stream as well.
yes, no, I agree. There's a lot of good things coming in 25. Just nothing happens. I'm a little impatient on stuff. Nothing happens as quick as I want it to happen, but
No, you impatient? You're kidding me.
very impatient. That's my wife.
Speaking of awesome things coming up in 2025, Wade SUPERHUNT's coming.
Yes, absolutely. My favorite time of the year. So I know you've already interviewed Casey.
Yep. Casey is what folks are listening to right now, what we're doing right now is airing right after we talked to Casey about little Lacy and winning the UKC World Hunt and his plans coming into the Super Hunt and all that stuff too. So the fans are hearing this now. We've already done one with Duel. We've got Doug Hevner coming up hopefully next week, if not the week after. We've got plans getting made down in Texas. We got Kevin and Karen working hard trying to get everything situated down there. Got the lodge booked. Got the man cooking the steaks, cameramen, all that good stuff. We're starting to put it all together for the Super Bowl of coon hunting.
Nope, I agree. I talked to Maynard. I guess it's probably been 2 weeks ago. Of course, the Midwest is just locked into this sub-freezing temperatures and 6 or 7 inches of snow and ice on the ground. But he's assured me that they'll have something by February 1. They'll have a winner.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
yes.
I mean, I believe it's between Nikki Hale, Jason Himes, Chad Spradlin, and Trigger, Lane Leverett, and Strickland, I believe, are the four.
Yeah, Strickland got the heck out of Kentucky and went to Georgia to hunt to get ready for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So who you picking there?
Boy, I don't know. I really don't know. I'd hate to. All four guys, good guys. So
Yeah.
that's always my. You get 4 good guys or 3 good guys. Excuse me. It's just a fun 2.5 days. Starts Thursday night, food, and Friday food, conversation, stories, and then Saturday more interviews in the hunt. It's just a fun 2.5 days. Wow, the lodge is over the top. So I can't wait.
No, it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. Not that I wouldn't want to see Strickland there because Strickland's always fun. But one of these other guys, any of those guys, get in. I'd be more than happy to have them down there at Texas. And it could be, I've hunted with all 4 of them dogs quite a bit, actually. I've hunted and drawn and judged and filmed Trigger and Juliet and I can't remember. I guess Nicky would be hunting the same one he won the 4-wheeler with, which I got to hunt with him there. He's the only one I haven't hunted with as much. And so yeah, it's anybody's ball game, and I think a lot of it is dependent on where they have this hunt. The rougher the country and the less the coons are moving, I think may favor Strickland just a little bit Maybe not. Who knows? Any of them dogs could win.
Right.
But any of them down there being the best dog coming out of pro sport versus AKC world champion, UKC world champion, and PKC world champion is bound to be a good cast.
Oh, I agree. Totally agree. It'll be interesting. Very, very interesting. Of course, Strickland wants to win 2 in a row.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I bet them other 3 guys have something to say about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the last time I talked to them, they're considering Owensboro, Kentucky area.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously gonna. Which Nicky's not far from there. Neither's. None of them boys are that far from there. You think of where Lane Leverett lives, Nicky lives, Chad and Jason, and where Trigger's from, and all that stuff. They ain't very far apart. From what I'm used to. I'm used to everybody being 10 hours from me, but them guys are all in Tennessee, Kentucky, in that area.
Right. So we've had 2 Joy Super Hunts. We've had a UKC hunt winner, and we've had a Pro Sport winner.
Mm-hmm.
So we've added the AKC this year, and Dool's going to be hard to beat. He's in Texas hunting right now as we speak as well. So
and where we hunt and the way that dog hunts is tailor made for his style. That dog Crash is going to be hard to beat in them flatwoods in East Texas. Oh, yeah. Especially now that he's used to the hogs, he's used to the armadillos, the stuff like that he hasn't been around with as much. He's gonna be tough to beat down there.
And there's no water this year, right?
It was just flooded here not too long ago.
Okay. That's always a concern this time of year. February or March down there is all the water, but hopefully we won't have to deal with that this year.
No, I don't think we will, hopefully, and it'd take big rains in February, which I don't think they're going to get. The weather's beautiful down there right now. 62, 63 degrees during the day. Been in the high 30s at night. And so hopefully that carries on for the next month. We've been really lucky in the weather the last 2 super hunts.
One thing we are going to do, I haven't told you this yet, I haven't told Finley either, but we're going to put cuffs on Finley's legs this year so he can just shuffle. He can't.
That'd be good.
He can't stride out. And
I don't know what he's in such a big hurry for anyway.
I don't either. We're gonna cuff him.
He don't look near as quick as he did it this time last year. I don't think he's going to be that hard to keep up with.
Well, he's married.
Yeah, he's getting all fat and comfortable now.
Hope he's listening.
Yeah, I hope he is too. I'm gonna see him tomorrow night, so I'll make sure and tell him.
Yeah, stroke him a little bit.
Yeah. But no, Wade, I appreciate you sitting down. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
No, just as always, we really appreciate all the support and stuff from Joy customers. Without you guys buying Joy dog food, none of this stuff can happen. So I want to.
One of your top distributors just walked in here and interrupted me in the middle of the podcast too. I see Mike Noe sitting down on the rocket chair in my living room.
Well, tell him I said hi.
All right, I will do Wade, and thanks for joining us, and thanks for everything you do, of course, through this podcast and through Cane Stream and all the events that Joy Dog Food sponsors and gives back to the hunting community. So we appreciate you, and we'll make sure and do this again next month.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Wade Graskewics, owner of Joy Dog Food. This is Tree Dog Tuesday. Thank you for listening.